Hi, welcome back to Sweet Talk. I am here with a new friend, Sara Abernethy, who is brilliant and talented, and I can't wait to learn more about her. She is the co-founder of Y Hill Hospitality here in Raleigh.
That's right.
And just coming up with these questions to ask, it has been, I can't wait to hear more because it has been, I'm like, what? Wow, you've done this. So
it's been a wild ride.
Tell us a little intro about yourself, and then we'll start getting into your origin story.
So I am a Raleigh native, calling myself a Raleigh OG. I keep hearing that is a rare thing.
Yep, I hardly know any.
But I grew up right across Harrison Road from your Cary location, right behind Cary Swim Club. That was where my childhood home was.
Wow.
Very familiar with that neighborhood.
Yes, Ryan Road, baby.
Yes. Pursued vocal performance and theater as a initial professional pursuit, and through that time pursuing life as a singer, worked in many, many restaurants in many different roles, front and back of house. And I have lived all over. I had a turn in New York City, pounding the pavement. I had a turn in Europe, working for an opera singer, learning about life there. And I moved to San Diego, which is where I met my now husband. And then about 10 years ago, oh my God, it's almost already 10 years ago.
That's crazy.
10 years ago, moved back here and had sort of a beautiful homecoming, and now have cultivated a hospitality group where we have 2 restaurants in the area.
Amazing.
We are at Y Hill Kitchen and Brewing right now, and our second is Glass House Kitchen in RTP. I do still sing. It is my first love.
You have a stunning voice. I heard it today.
I will never let go of that, but also have 2 young children at home.
Cutie patooties.
4-year-old and a 1-year-old, and never a dull moment.
No. So babies, career, all these aspirations. Can't wait to learn more. You're amazing. Okay.
You're amazing.
So you started your career as an opera singer, part acting, a little bit of whatever performance, right? It's a world of performance, vulnerability, storytelling, honestly at the highest level. We talk about being seen, like you are literally on stage being seen. And what did that chapter give you that still remains with you today?
This is an interesting question, and when thinking about this, I think about how unnatural it is for somebody to be in performance mode.
Yes.
Like your reptilian brain says, no. It is not safe for me to be here and have all of these people silently staring at me, watching me. That does not compute.
Yeah.
So it is a very unique skill set. I am so grateful that I pursued arts education, actually, and I would encourage any young person, and honestly any parent, to get behind if that's what your kid wants to do.
Sure.
It is a really great pursuit because it teaches discipline.
Sure.
It teaches teamwork. Yeah. And if you're not a naturally athletic person, like I was not, it's such a great way to really feel what it's like to work on a team. There's just nothing like putting on a show together, and the tribes, the village that you create doing that. It teaches you rejection. It teaches you how to hone in on your unique gifts, what makes you unique, what makes you special, and find your true authentic voice. And all of those things have served me in a number of different levels all throughout my career. So I do not regret it, even though it is not how I make my living today.
Right, yes, but it was part of your foundation to being who you are today.
Absolutely. And I do still perform whenever I can.
Yeah.
It's definitely, I call it my unicorn space.
Yeah, I love it. I recently did a public speaking course.
Yes.
And you are so right about like what it was like to be on stage. It's the most uncomfortable, the scariest thing ever to be seen, and I can't imagine doing it for fun. Because
it does get easier with practice.
Yeah.
But it's like we spend our whole lives in school, right? Like looking at someone in front of you speaking. Like you spend your whole life as an audience member, and what that feels like.
I never thought about that.
Watching a movie, watching a play, that feels totally natural.
Yeah.
But then when you flip the script and you're the one that everyone's looking at, you realize what a totally different experience it is.
That's so cool. But it does make you brave, I think, and
it does make you
helps
brave.
get through stuff.
It takes a lot of courage.
Yes.
It takes a lot of courage to do that.
Does. Very cool. And so does owning a restaurant.
And so does owning a restaurant.
So there you go.
Yes.
All full circle.
That is something I have said to myself when I tell myself, when you you and I have talked a lot about self-talk and the importance of self-talk and the importance of really editing what you allow into your brain.
That's right. Yep,
and no matter what I'm thinking, no matter what kind of imposter syndrome I'm battling or whatever, what I know to be true is I am very brave.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Absolutely.
I am very brave.
Yeah, I love that. Keep telling yourself that. I love it. Me too, girl.
You are.
And it's scary.
It is
but
scary.
We do it anyway. And that's what being brave means,
That's
right?
right.
Okay, well, like we just talked similarities between performing and owning a restaurant business, obviously. So you found a natural home in hospitality here, creating experiences behind the bar and on the restaurant floor. What did you discover about yourself in those spaces that the stage didn't already teach you? And I want you in that answer to talk a little bit about, because we talked earlier before the camera was on, about living in Europe and all the things and what took you, how you got into the restaurant world as you were trying to get jobs as a singer. Talk about that. And then how it relates to your current world.
I think many people don't realize how similar theater and restaurants are, because in both contexts, you are creating a full sensory experience for a guest.
I never thought about that. Okay, yeah.
You are.
That's so
you are
fascinating.
there to tickle your senses and engage your senses. And maybe you don't eat something at a theater performance per se the way you do at a restaurant. So much of the value proposition of going out to eat, which today is a premium, is the vibe of the space that you're in. How does the space feel? What is it? What do the chairs feel like on your butt?
Yeah.
What are the sounds you're experiencing? Are the chairs scraping against the floor? Are the glasses loud on the table? All of that has everything to do with skill sets that you build in a theater context.
That's so fascinating.
So my husband, Chris, has a very impressive career that he'll never toot his own horn about because he doesn't like to talk about himself like you. But he had a 20-year career in theater as a role called a technical director, which is the person who's responsible for set design, construction, and installation. Which those three things are actually very different skill sets. So he has a unique ability to approach any space, and be able to calculate how you could turn it into whatever you want.
Wow.
Whatever you want. So when we walked up to this very building almost 10 years ago and saw what it was, I could just see the wheels turning in his head of, well, it has the potential to do this, has the potential to do this. This patio didn't have this roof when we were here. The building had a different layout, but he has that ability to see that and bring it to life. And I bring to the table this sort of like natural on-stage skill set where I can help solidify the vibe, help talk to guests, help toot the horn of the brand. And much like you and George, it really complements each other.
I love it.
Yes. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay.
That works.
But I didn't talk about Germany.
You could talk. I would love for you to talk a little bit about your experience in Europe and your hospitality background before you even got to Y Hill.
My very first job in hospitality was at the Hayes Barton Cafe in Five Points when I was in high school.
Oh my gosh.
Have you been there?
Yes, I have.
And gotten wonderful cake from there?
I was going to say yes. The cakes are insane.
My wedding cake was a coconut cake.
Wow.
And I was really like lightning struck me on the floor. I loved that job. I don't know that I've ever loved a job more than that place. I started as a host, and I was just this like 16-year-old blonde, bubbly, ambitious little kid. And I think they got a kick out. The owners
Yeah.
got a kick out of that. It's
Yeah.
a very family-run mom and pop place. But that place had it still does. It has a lot of soul, a lot of character. Today, it's very difficult to find a restaurant that has that personality and depth, I think.
Yeah.
So that's very special when you do have it. That was my first role. All throughout college, I worked in various restaurants as a server. I worked as a line cook for a summer on the fry station. That was rough.
Yeah.
But as a server, I loved connecting with people. I loved talking to guests. I learned that I had a great skill set at sales, and I didn't feel icky about sales. I just felt like, well, I'm connecting someone to an experience that they're wanting to have and help them make the most of it. What's weird about that?
Right.
And always loved eating and drinking, of course. Who doesn't?
Right.
After college, I had an opportunity to be an au pair for a working opera singer in Dusseldorf, Germany. And
That's so cool.
It was very cool because I really got to see what is under the hood of this lifestyle that I think I want to pursue. And she had a child. A lot of people say if you go into being an actor or a singer or you go into being a restaurateur, you can't have a family. Well, people do it.
Right, exactly.
You know,
Every
nobody
day.
can afford to live in New York City, and 8 million people live in New York
right.
City. So people do it.
Exactly.
I didn't work in hospitality in Germany. I did meet a boy and fall in love. A different boy. I love you, Chris. So that, I mean, it was a really beautiful life experience. I got to travel with her to some engagements, take care of her kid, learn some German, see the world. It was really special experience to have right out of college. And they wanted me to stay, and the lover also wanted me to stay, but my heart was called to New York City, and I really knew that I wanted to go there and give it a true shot. And that was the time in life to do it.
Okay, yep, absolutely.
So worked serving and bartending jobs in New York City to make a living and pay the bills so that I could be available during daytime hours to pursue auditions.
Wow.
That was nuts. Oh, if these walls could talk, it's like
I can't even imagine the story.
Just so wild.
How long did you do that for?
That was it was actually a short amount of time. It was less than 2 years.
Okay.
But it was an incredibly formative chapter. So it, like, when I think back about my life, it takes up a significant chunk. But somebody asked me a very good question when I was young, during that time in New York City, and they challenged me to be really, really honest with myself. And they said, are you prepared to be a nomad for your life?
Oh, wow.
If you are going to have a successful career as a performer, will you be truly happy living as a nomad?
Wow.
And rebuilding your village every single time?
Wow.
And I said, no.
Yeah.
It's easy as a 22-year-old to be like, I want to be a star and romanticize all of that.
Right.
But the true answer is no. I wanted a nest.
Yeah.
I wanted roots. I knew eventually I wanted a family, and I am so grateful that somebody asked me that. So very shortly after that time, I retired from pounding the pavement trying to be chosen, and I decided to choose myself.
Good for you.
And so I experimented with fundraising in the nonprofit world. That was a very easy vertical to evolve into. And that's how I ended up getting a job in San Diego in the fundraising department of the theater.
Wow. Okay. And that took you to San Diego.
And that took me to San Diego. New York City did eject me though, like all at one time. It was like this final performing gig that I had in the pipeline fell through. I got fired from my waitressing job, which was shocking, truly, which I won't get into the details of that, whatever.
But you were not meant to stay.
I was not meant to stay, and I was not meant to stay in New York. So the universe was like, off you go.
Exactly. How much do we have to do to you to get you to understand that you need to go?
And I never would have been open to a job opportunity in California had it not been for all of those things.
Wow.
So I took a break at that point from hospitality for a while. I worked in fundraising, I worked in sales, but after meeting my man, he always said to me, which I thought was so funny, that he really wanted to run a restaurant. I think I'd be really good at it.
Yeah.
He loved to cook, I loved to cook. And we would always throw these really fun parties, which is also a common tale. People are like, we love hosting at our home, so we should open a restaurant.
Quite different. But
it's
sometimes
quite different.
You don't know that until you do it.
It's quite different. But I would always, through the years, like I would take a catering gig here and there, or bartending, like a guest bartending slot here or there. And it never, this like yearning for taking care of people in a hospitality sense never left me.
Wow. That's such a fascinating story, man. You don't seem old enough to have all that in your background. You did it all in a very short period of time. That's so
answering
cool.
your question.
You are absolutely answering my question. Yes. And okay, so obviously, let's talk a little bit. So in 2017, something called you to Raleigh and to purchase the building behind us, which is, you guys transformed it into Y Hill, right? It was originally a landmark with another name.
It used to be the Boylan Bridge Brew Pub.
The Boylan Bridge
And
Brew
if
Pub.
you are a Raleigh native like me, you will know that name.
Yeah.
But it's actually, so sorry, the question is what brought me here?
So that brought you here. So this was the life transforming opportunity that you had to open up this first restaurant with your husband, right?
Oh, sorry.
You're
playing
totally
footsie with you.
You're good. That's good.
It was.
And obviously something called you into this world, but what was it? Tell us like what it was like to say yes to something this big, this scary, this different than you had done anything like this before.
Well, what brought us back to Raleigh originally was just the desire. I mean, I have such a kinship with you. It's a lot of parallels to your own story. Yeah. We were both at a standstill professionally. Mm-hmm. We knew we wanted to get married and build a life together, but we weren't really seeing how that was tactically, practically possible in Southern California.
Unfortunately, it's a little bit more expensive than Raleigh, North Carolina.
And I also saw this staggering statistic about if you don't live in the same town as your parents and you're my age, you'll only see them probably 12 more times in your life.
Oh, wow.
Or I don't remember what the statistic was, but
exactly.
it was
I can relate.
Severe enough to stop me in my tracks.
Yeah.
So we took a trip back here together. Okay. We started talking about like what cities could we build a life in? Where do we have family? And Raleigh took the cake. And 10 years ago, it was such a different city from the one I grew up in. There was so much more happening downtown and in restaurants and in the economy. And it seemed very exciting, but something that was accessible to where we were in life at the time.
Exactly.
And it felt like when we packed up that trailer and drove across the country, it felt like we were riding off into the sunset together to pursue our next big adventure. And we did not know it would be restaurants.
Okay, so you did not know.
We did not at that point.
Okay.
We thought it might be an event space of some kind. Okay. We jokingly talked about becoming Chip and Joanna Gaines.
I love it.
And like buying a barn and turning it into a wedding venue. So it's not that far off.
Right.
But we came here the first year we moved back for the Boylan Heights Art Walk, which is a really fun neighborhood event that happens the first Sunday of every December. Okay. Local artists come out and display their work, and you walk up and down the neighborhood. We got a table here. It was 65 degrees in December, which is magical.
Of course.
One of the magical things about living here. We're the only two people here.
Oh, wow.
After this whole huge neighborhood event is happening.
Wow.
He got a beer, I got a glass of wine, and we're like, where is everybody?
Yeah.
And then the wheels started turning, as they do. We look around and we're like, oh, this is kind of a cool space, and like, maybe it'd be really something special here. And it turns out we had a family friend who connected us to the previous owner.
Wow.
Who, like my husband, was a carpenter. So they immediately bonded on that front. And out of these conversations came sort of this mutual question of, I would be willing to sell this business to you if you would be willing to buy it.
Wow.
Would you entertain this conversation? And what was it like saying yes? I mean, only someone who had never done this before would say yes as enthusiastically as us. who had like, no resources except our own skill sets that we had.
Wow.
And we knew we had a good work ethic, and we knew we had grit. We knew we could do a lot of things ourselves. But it was a very bold move.
Yeah.
One that I honestly might not repeat if I had to do it all over again. Or I might go about it, I might approach it in a different way. Because who's going to loan you money if you have no experience opening a restaurant?
Somehow you made it happen.
But we pieced it together with some love and Scotch tape.
That's what it takes.
And also, Andia, we ran it as the existing business for a year before we opened Y Hill.
Okay, got it.
So people might not know that part of the story, but we ran Boyle and Bridge Brew Pub for almost a year.
Wow. Okay.
Because we knew, all right, well, this business already works. It does have customers that come here. We don't know anything about running a restaurant because I had only ever waited tables. I had never managed one. Or like owned one. So let's get a feel for what we want this concept to be. What is the building like? What do these customers like about this concept, and what do they not like, and what could it be? And I think that was very smart in hindsight.
Absolutely.
Instead of like, which we wanted to jump in and, fist swinging and start swinging hammers. But I think that was a moment of wisdom. So a year after we got the keys, we opened Y Hill Kitchen and Brewing. And it is a lot of paint.
Yes, it's beautiful.
It's a lot of paint. I'll say to anyone considering this, paint goes a long way.
Yes, it does.
And lighting.
Yes.
If you're going to spend your money, the biggest bang for your buck is paint and lighting.
Yeah. It's a beautiful space. And the views are phenomenal.
That's what everybody knows, right? Yeah. Everybody knows the view from the patio.
Yeah. Wow. But I understand you wouldn't repeat it. However, it taught you so much, right? And if you didn't have this experience, you wouldn't be who you are today.
I would not be who I am today. That is true.
There's something to be said for that. Okay, so we have incredible storm behind us. It is beautiful. I wonder if our viewers can see. As we've gotten to know your story, so you open up Y Hill.
Yes.
It's a brewery. You've got all that going, and then you decide that you also want to get certified in wine.
That's right.
And you went ahead and did the equivalent of a sommelier, right, with the WSET Level 3 training, which is insanely hard, by the way. I give you a lot of credit for that. That's incredible. And also, you have a French Wine Scholar Award, which is super cool. Is that what it is? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. How has that depth of knowledge changed the way you think about what you put in front of people?
I was very nervous to pursue formal wine education. Ever since I was legally allowed to drink, maybe sometime before then, I've always loved wine. I've always loved wine. It's the first thing I reach for if I'm, imbibing. And fascinated with the connection to history, to people, to culture, and how I really think it is like a time capsule. It seems really magical to me. All of that connective tissue is so fascinating. But I never felt like I was qualified to take a formal wine certification. Which is just so funny.
I know.
And it's just so funny that I would think that. And in 2020, it was Chris, my husband, who said, you should really just do it. Just do it. That's awesome. The restaurant's closed and for now, and why wouldn't you? And the level one certification is only one day.
Okay.
And we have a wonderful wine school here in Raleigh, Vitis House.
That's right.
That offers these courses in person. So I went for it, and I did get hooked. And I remember hearing Doreen, the owner of Vitis House, say, you take level 1, you're probably going to want to take level 2, and then if you take level 2, you're probably going to want to take level 3. And so I was hooked after that first class. What it has done for the business, it has been very personally fulfilling, of course. To have someone as part of the business who has knowledge of wine has been a tremendous asset, because it is a very complicated subject.
Yes, it is.
And it's very intimidating to many, many people. It was to myself included. So it has helped both our restaurants, Y Hill and Glass House, have a really intentional wine program but it's also helped with wine training, which is something
Okay.
I learned that I loved to do.
Yeah.
Loved to host wine trainings for the staff. And it's also something that I've started to offer at Glass House Kitchen to the public.
That's so
It's been a
fun.
blast.
Yeah. It sounds like a lot of fun. And I like to take wine classes too, because I love to drink wine. But a certification sounds very intimidating to me, even though I love history, all the things that you're saying, but I give you so much credit because you have to be able to close your eyes and taste and know what you're tasting, right? Like the origin of the grape, the type of grape, the flavor profile. I don't know. It seems way more complicated than ice cream to me.
Well, yes, but you end up doing a lot of practice.
That's a beautiful
right?
thing. I can't argue with you there.
And you don't learn how to blind taste like what you would see in a master sommelier, someone getting that sort of blind tasting. You do learn it in layers.
Yeah.
So, and the WSET program does a really great job of helping hone your tasting skills in a specific format.
Okay.
So first you're really looking at like, okay, does this wine taste full-bodied or light-bodied?
Yeah.
You hone that.
Okay.
And then you can start to get into the nuances of that. Okay, does this wine have red fruit or does it have yellow fruit?
Wow. Yeah.
That's, you hone that and then you can get into the further nuances of all of that.
And so level 3 is how long of a program?
Level 3 was a week.
Okay.
And I did do a significant amount of preparation prior to the week.
Yeah.
Which level 1 and 2 weren't nearly as intensive. I mean, it was a huge curve from what you do in the level 1 class to what you do in the level 3.
The book is like this thick, isn't it? For level 3, it's like a massive book.
It was a solid inch. Yeah, it was solid. But like level 1, you kind of go in blind. Level 3, you really want to go in having knowledge of that manual.
Yeah. I give you a lot of credit.
It was
super
fun.
cool.
It was fun.
Super cool. And I love going out to dinner with friends who understand wine way more than I do. I'm like, okay, Sarah, you choose which bottle are we going to get? I
am that friend.
I love that. I love that I don't have to think.
You don't have to make a decision.
Yes, exactly. That's awesome. Okay. Let's talk a little bit about hospitality and womanhood. I love getting deeper into the questions. Okay, the hospitality industry, the brewing world, the wine world, all the things, these have all historically been male-dominated spaces.
Yes.
Can't argue with that. What has it been like to build a career and a name for yourself in rooms that weren't always built with you in mind?
It's a good question. What comes to top of mind for me is that men and women tend to, not everybody, but tend to have different strengths in skill sets. So here's how I'll say that differently. Men tend to be able to focus on one thing really, really strongly.
Yeah.
And not let anything outside of that headlight get in the way.
Right. Even if it's staring at them in the face.
Even if it's staring at them in the face.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that's a joke I say. It's like, oh, if I wanted to surprise my husband with a gift, I would just leave it on the counter in plain sight. He'd never find it.
Exactly.
I'm serious. But women have a strength in addition, they can see the headlight, but then they see all of the landscape around the headlight or around the target and what might influence and what might overlap.
Yeah.
I think it comes very naturally, and I have found my strength in the layering to be very well received in the rooms I've been in my experience.
That's awesome.
But I also I've definitely experienced a lot of imposter syndrome. However, coming into these rooms, I found that my outside experience from hospitality was really a strength.
Yeah, absolutely.
And my ability in sales and my experience just seeing how other companies operated helped me bring a perspective to a table that was full of men, but who only knew how one kind of operation went or one set of cultural rules went.
Yeah.
I had a much broader perspective. I don't look like the kind of person you'd find in a brewery. I don't look like the kind of person who would found a THC seltzer beverage.
Yeah.
But again, I've really celebrated those differences.
That's awesome. Yeah, 100%. I think it's super cool. And we want more women in those spaces anyway. So you are one of the pioneers in this area anyway, as far as, starting the THC company and, having the brewery here at Y Hill and being the co-founder.
Yes.
So the badass woman behind the man. Can we say that?
We are, I would say next to the man.
Yeah. Okay. Next to the man.
That makes me think of my Big Fat Greek Wedding. Do people bring that up to you all the time?
Yes.
Okay,
it is.
I won't talk about it. I won't talk about it. Okay.
It is a reality of life in the Greek world that I come from.
We are very, very lucky in Raleigh-Durham to have a wealth of women-run and founded businesses in food and beverage.
Yes.
We really do. I didn't fully realize that until a couple of years ago.
Yeah. I'm still realizing that now, actually.
Every day.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful, and I have found it to be a very welcoming, supportive culture here in Raleigh-Durham.
Agreed.
For that reason, I think.
Yeah. We were saying earlier off camera about creating some kind of a women entrepreneur, whatever, support group of some sort. Yeah.
We're going to do it. I've been wanting to do it forever. I just need, I need an accountability buddy.
Yeah. Be texting you, Sarah.
Yep.
Okay, girl, let's talk a little bit about all of these paths. And we talk about intention and manifestation, all the things. And I never believe in coincidences. I always know that every path of ours is meant to unfold as it does. But let's talk a little bit about your winding path, right? Because you started opera, theater, hospitality, wine, brewing, all the things. From the outside perspective, and follow me on this, I don't want you to think I'm saying something that I'm not. It could be this girl does not know what she wants to do. However, to me, it seems like a master plan to create this Sara Abernethy, incredible human that is evolving and becoming. So, this is your truth, and I always talk about, right? We talked earlier about speaking your truth and following your truth. Who gives a shit what anybody else thinks, right? Mm-hmm. So tell me, were there moments you doubted the zigzag, and what kept you going?
I love this question, by the way. I love this question.
Thank you.
It's juicy and it's accurate.
Yeah.
I have felt many times throughout my life experience that I never quite fully fit in anywhere. And I would see, I even had this socially in high school and college. I felt like I had a lot of auxiliary friendships but never had one core group. And I felt that way professionally. I never fully had both feet planted in theater, or I never had both feet fully planted in restaurants, or I'm not a professional chef or whatever.
Yeah.
But now I just look at it like a braid. It's just a braid, and these things they might seem disjointed, but the through line is a very similar skill set.
Yeah.
It's this sparkly space holder person.
Yeah.
Who can make things happen, bring people together, be communicative, be articulate, share a message, and move it forward.
Yeah. I totally know.
I mean, you could say it simply I love throwing a party. I love throwing a theme party. Okay. Sure, I do that in all of my pursuits. It's just a giant fun theme party.
I love it. You're amazing. You're very inspirational, I will tell you.
Thank you.
Have you read the memoir in your spare time? I know there's not a lot of spare time with 2 little kids at home and a business, but Ina Garten. I don't know if you follow. Okay.
Yes.
Her memoir.
Yes.
She
Be ready when the luck happens.
Yeah. But she braided, where she started and what she weaved and where she ended is what you're creating. I mean, really, it's so cool to see one thing has nothing to do with the other, but it becomes magic in the end,
I saw that title and gasped. Be ready when the luck happens. Isn't that so good?
I adore her.
Do you also know the Oprah saying there is no real luck? Luck is the moment of preparation meets the moment of opportunity. Have you heard that?
But I love Oprah, and how do I not know that?
It's not about luck. Sure, you can be grateful for privilege,
Yes.
of course, but
Yeah.
the moment of preparation meets the moment of opportunity.
That's right, absolutely. And Oprah's a big believer in manifestation and
100%.
visualization and gratitude and creating your reality. And she says that she's gotten so good at it now that it's like it happens so fast. There's not even any lag time in between her thought of wanting something and manifesting it. It's pretty cool.
Don't you feel like it's like a muscle though?
1,000,000%.
Like
yes,
it's
it
a
is.
muscle.
Yes.
You have to practice.
Yes.
That.
And I think we talked about this, like the times in my life when I intentionally make the time to practice more, which comes in the form of gratitude and journaling and that visualizing and whatever, I see the results so much faster than right now when my dogs woke me up at the crack of dawn and I had no time today to do my gratitude, and it just completely sets me in a very different direction.
Yep.
It makes a huge difference.
It makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
It's not hooey. It's real.
No, it's not. And we don't care what people think anyway.
We don't care what people think.
Because we know what the reality of it is. It's all
Yes, I
popping.
devoured that memoir. Thank you for asking.
Yes.
I love it.
So good. She's amazing. Okay. Tell me a little bit. Let's talk about the restaurant itself, because obviously, you know, this is what Raleigh knows you for, and one of the many reasons, right? The Y Hill is a famous landmark, and now the Abernethys own it. Is that your husband's last name? I don't even know. Is that your maiden last name?
It's my maiden name. My children are Abernethy.
They are. Okay, see? All right. So that didn't come out of nowhere.
I told my husband, you can change your name if you want.
Yeah. Good for you, girl. Girl power. I like it. What is your husband's last name?
Borison.
Borison. Okay.
So we call
Abernethy
ourselves
and
House
Borison.
Borothy.
Oh, that's cute.
Like a
I
little
like
Game
it.
of Thrones wink. And our staff meeting every week is called Small Council.
That's very cute. Very cute.
If you're into Game of Thrones, you know.
No. But I know of it.
Yes.
Okay, so opening and running a restaurant and brewery is absolutely relentless work. Obviously, we talked about it is not for the weak of heart.
No.
What has been the hardest season? Talk about that a little bit of this chapter, and what did it teach you?
The hardest season was definitely opening Glass House Kitchen in 2022. And we opened it in 2022, but like 2022 and 2021 was like planning and incubating that idea, which, as you recall, was also pandemic times. So there was just still so much uncertainty. And in 2022, I also had my first child.
Oh, wow. All at once. God bless you.
Yeah, and we do tend to kind of like pack it all in all at once in different phases. But that was very hard having a child. I think everybody who is a mother can relate to this feeling of this baby comes out of you and you are a different person, and you're trying to get to know yourself all over again, but you don't have time to do that because this little human needs you. And then trying to reintegrate yourself professionally, but you're not the same.
Right.
So I had this awesome momentum when I was pregnant with Joey for the Glass House project, and then I had her and I had to take this back seat, and I felt really stuck. I felt really stuck, but I'm still proud of launching Glass House Kitchen for sure, but then running it and having a small baby at home. I was also I still am a relatively new leader and a skill set that I'm developing, but I was really getting my sea legs as a leader and making every mistake in the book. And it just felt very hard. It felt like everything I touched turned to dust, and which might seem ridiculous from the outside looking in.
Right.
And then having my second child last year, that postpartum was incredibly difficult. And what I wanted to do with the second child was, all right, well, let me not give myself a timeline. Let me build this year so that I can have a lot of flexibility and no needed role in the operation in any way to come back into, so that I can be in charge of my own destiny.
Yeah.
And it turned out that was a huge mistake, because like 3 months into it, I was like just floundering. I felt very unmoored. I wasn't needed anywhere. I didn't have anything specific that I was working on, and both of my children were not sleeping.
Wow.
So 2025 last year, there was very little sleep, and the physical depletion of that, and then not feeling like I had enough energy to do the things I wanted to do was so hard. And I just felt like a shell of a human. And you and me like to get shit done. We like to grab creative opportunities when they come up and pursue things and make things happen. And I just felt totally like, I don't know, the word that's coming to mind is castrated, and that's not the word I want to say, but like immobilized. There we go. Please cut that out. I just felt totally immobilized. Yeah. So I would say, to answer your question, most recently has been the hardest chapter, 2022 through 2025. These last 3 years have been very difficult. I do not just now, like this spring, I'm starting to feel like I see the light. Good. I see the light to the next chapter. Good. And I'm not quite there. Like there's still some tunnel to go through.
Of course.
But there is momentum for creative projects that I am working on now.
That's awesome.
I do feel today I am much more grounded in my professional identity than ever.
Yes.
And that also helps with the zigzagging.
Yes.
That helps bring confidence and context to why I am still pursuing multiple things with the same amount of gusto.
Yes, exactly. And the best is yet to be.
That's right.
So you had to go through all that to figure out. I don't think I think in the world especially that we live in today with Instagram and, the highlight reels for every human, right, that we follow and we know of and whatever. And I think it's harder today more than ever before to be authentic because of the fact that it seems like it's so easy for everybody else.
Yes.
And that they magically,
they got it. They got it.
And it's so not true for anybody. Not one famous person had it just like that, or famous or successful or whatever, whoever your idols are, right?
Or does it alone.
Exactly. And so I think it's important for us to share these stories of, yes, the zigzag is real, and yes, this is what you need to go through to get to where you really are meant to wind up in life, But I love these conversations. Okay.
It's so good.
It's so cool.
It's so good.
It really is, because there's nothing more real than being real, man. Just simply that simple.
And if I had this stuff 8 years ago,
right,
man, it would have helped me so much.
And you wouldn't be who you are today.
Yes.
You'd be a different Sara than you are today. And you were just not meant to be that version of Sara.
That's true.
Because
that's true.
The best of Sara is yet to be.
That's true.
So you've got that. Okay, amazing. All right, here we go, girl. Another story about a line. This is a good question too. You've built a life that looks nothing like a straight line, which we just talked about, and it's led somewhere really, really, really beautiful. What would you tell a young woman who's afraid her path doesn't make sense yet?
So I had a different answer when I first read this question, but what is coming to me now is find yourself a group of business besties.
Yeah.
Because it's so lonely, and most people don't choose this path.
Yeah. It's a hard path.
And so it's difficult. Most people in your life want to support you, but it's very difficult for them to relate to you.
Yes.
And if you have a group or one business buddy who you can unload on, who can be your counselor, your therapist, and vice versa, who is not married to you.
Right. Yes.
That's what I would say, because so much of this, you can hone your inner compass and you can follow your intuition, but having that validation from somebody you trust and that support from somebody you trust is what brings that to life, and that's what helps you strengthen that muscle of following your intuition.
I agree.
Find a business bestie.
Yeah.
Like, it's easy to say trust your gut or da-da-da-da. I feel like people do say that, and there is validity to that, of course, but support is crucial too.
Yeah. And we both know what it's like to work with our husbands, and they're fabulous and all the things, but also like having a girlfriend
to each other all the time.
No, and just having a girlfriend who can you can have a different conversation with, and share what it's like to work with your spouse is important as well. And I've had lots of friends. So when I turned 50, I went through my midlife crisis. What I call my midlife crisis was finding new friends, because I just wanted friends who were still growing and didn't tell me I looked tired because I was working so many hours, and just so I've expanded my circle.
And it seems like you found a wonderful circle.
I have wonderful friends, and I've kept the ones that I've had, but I just needed to expand and just make it to get a little bit more of different perspectives, and have the friends who understand what it's like to own a business, the friends who understand all the things, right? And so I think it's incredibly important, your advice for a young woman to find whatever that looks like for her, whether it's a friend or a mentor, or that's also important as well.
And go to Fab in Charleston.
Yes. our favorite conference of the year. Okay, so what is the dream from here? Now that all that stuff that you've experienced is behind you, what is the dream for Hill Hospitality? What is a dream for you and all your craft, all the talents that you have? And what is a dream for Sara herself?
It's such a good question. Oh my God, I'm feeling the emotions in the back of my skull wanting to come out of my eyeballs. I'm saying when you get up and people look at you while you're saying things, that's you just want to cry.
Yeah.
Things that feel tender.
That's right.
So Hill Hospitality, I mean, the dream for this space is to keep, it's easy to say stay open, but to continue to raise the bar reasonably for the style of service and the hospitality that we're doing here. This is a really cool space. It is very unique. It does have an authentic local soul, but it would be very easy to sit back and be like, well, this is a brewery, so we're just going to serve cheeseburgers and IPAs because that's what people want. And then, we're not really any better than our predecessors. So continue to offer an experience that surprises and delights people.
I love that.
From a beverage perspective, what's on the plate, and just the human beings that are here.
Yeah.
And to be a landmark for Raleigh, to be the place that you want to take your parents when they come visit you, to be the place you want to have your cocktail welcome hour before your wedding weekend. And I hope we're still here for many years to come. I would love to see Tree Time THC seltzer take off. I would love to see, we have some, legal stuff in the works right now, and regulations that are currently in conversation with our, excuse me.
They're excited about your THC seltzer.
We have some regulations that are in the works, which are definitely necessary in the landscape of THC, but I hope that it works out in our favor, and that we are able to, I would love to see this product available all along the East Coast.
Awesome.
I really would.
Do it.
And it is so, I know you don't drink THC, but and you don't drink THC either, but it's very, very good. And of all the ones that I've tried in the research and development process, I think it's the best. We also just won Best Seltzer at the High Spirits Award in Los Angeles.
That's amazing.
For our cardamom chill berry. I know. So that's huge.
I know.
Huge.
How did we not know that? Okay.
Huge.
That's amazing. Congrats.
It's very recent.
Yes.
Yeah, very recent.
Exciting.
So I have high hopes for that.
No pun intended.
So punny. For Hill Hospitality, I could see there being more locations in the future, but that's hard to see today. For myself personally, I would love to see something a little more concrete come to fruition with this media host skill set that I know I have to offer. Yeah. And I'm exploring with the Her Seat at the Table podcast and some other content generation how to get that out there, but I really love being in that position of facilitating a conversation or facilitating an experience.
Awesome. Yeah.
And adding a media component just taps into my love for performance and theater. in a way. So I don't know how that will manifest itself, but the way I'm putting language to it is Ina meets Julia Child meets Kelly Clarkson energy.
I love it.
You know?
You could totally do it. Absolutely.
And then, of course, I always want to make space for singing whenever it's possible.
That's so cool.
Do you know I have a holiday entertainment group also?
No.
Because I'm insane.
No.
Last year, this was also like a postpartum. Well, actually, it's not. I've had this idea for a decade. To launch a holiday entertainment trio in the style of the Andrews Sisters, but it's a cappella.
Oh my God.
Because I used to do Christmas caroling back in San Diego, and it was really fun.
Okay.
So I've incubated on this for a decade, and I finally pulled the trigger on it last year.
That's amazing.
They're called the Sleigh Bells.
Oh my God, that's hysterical.
At first I thought it was going to be me and 2 others, but I ended up hiring 9 women. So I have a roster of 9 women that I send out in trios to holiday gigs.
Oh my God.
And they sing Christmas carols, and it's darling.
That's so cute. That's amazing.
So I have ambitions like for what's the dream for Sara. I really see the Sleigh Bells. I have a lot of ideas for the Sleigh Bells.
I love it. That's so fun.
Like I think there could be a Sleigh Bells Asheville, Sleigh Bells Wilmington, Sleigh Bells Charlotte, and this is Sleigh Bells Triangle.
That's so
I really
cool.
do.
That's so cool. You know, George was in an a cappella group.
No.
He did a barbershop quartet.
Oh.
Yeah, and then Alex in in college was in a cappella group as well. We have one signature closing question that I ask every guest.
Yes.
But before we get to that, I do want to share some Mondia's ice cream with you.
Yay!
After all, this is called Sweet Talk.
I love it.
So there must be a little bit of sweetness in it.
Obviously.
And I ask my guests what flavor that they would like to try or what is their favorite flavor. And you chose Date Night.
I did.
Which is a May flavor. And I am so excited to share it with you because it is doing so well. We had it last year for the first time. It's a vanilla with a house-made date compote. And I will tell you, it does incredibly well, and I cannot wait to share it with you.
Like I texted you, I said, this sounds sexy. This like combination of flavor sounds sexy.
Yeah,
I like it.
It is a special flavor, and here it comes.
Yay!
Of course, we have heart spoons.
Oh my God!
Because after all, it is Lavandia, right? Okay, so Date Night, our signature vanilla ice cream. Award winner with a house-made date compote. A little bit of sweetness, a little bit of saltiness.
Love it.
So good. I love savory ice cream. This is my favorite.
Me too.
I love it. Our number 1 bestseller in May, by the way. So good choice. Good choice. And I will say, as we sit here on a May day, we are freezing our butts off that we have to turn the heater above us as we eat our ice cream. This is crazy weather for Raleigh. I don't know what's going on.
This whole spring has been bonkers.
I know.
Bonkers.
It has not been ice cream weather at all so far this year.
Well, it's like 95 degrees or 45 degrees.
Yeah, crazy. Crazy. All right, we're going to close this out. Thank you so much for your vulnerability and your honesty and your loving self, bringing your loving self to me and me coming to you here at Y-Hill, sharing your space with me. I do want to ask, what do you want women who come after you to feel because you existed?
This is such a great question.
As I eat my ice cream while you talk.
I want them to feel permission to pursue joy. Period. Whatever that means.
Mic drop, end of sentence, done. Yeah.
Permission to feel joy and permission to pursue what brings you joy.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
I love that. Why does it sometimes take so darn long for us to understand that? Why?
That it's okay to pursue joy.
Yeah. How crazy is that, right?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I am a firm believer that joy is also joy is a form of resistance.
Yeah.
We are incomplete without it.
Yeah.
And I love to work hard. I love complex, challenging issues. I have a very high risk tolerance and a very busy brain.
Yeah.
But joy is just an essential ingredient in living.
Yes. Exactly. I think we are meant to be on earth to experience joy. And it's sad because many people never get to do that. And I think oftentimes it's because we don't give ourselves permission. So
especially
to
as
give
women.
Exactly. To give that message and share that message with other young women coming after us is amazing.
My daughter's name is Josephine, and for short we call her Joey, but we spell it the French spelling, which is Joie. Joie
I love
means joy
that. Oh my gosh.
in French.
That's amazing.
She is our joy.
Oh, that's amazing.
She is our joy.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
For
You were amazing. Amazing. Thank you for sharing your path with me.
Such an honor.
Such my honor. Thank you. And what a pleasure to get to know you, Anne.